welcome back to Creative Tuesdays with Liz. I will start off by saying that this week I am super excited about this project. I have really enjoyed it. It has just been something that's helped me relieve stress. It's just made me feel good. I have really enjoyed this, and I hope that you all will find as much joy in it as I did creating this week. We will be doing watercolor and contour line drawings, so you will need something to protect your work surface area. You will need a set of watercolors, a cup of water, some paper towels and paintbrush. You might want some scrap paper. You'll need some thick paper to do your watercolor painting on. And if you have watercolor paper, that will be great to use. If you don't, that is no big deal. You can use cardstock or any other thick paper. So you'll need that. You'll need black pens or markers and a pencil. While you might want to kind of practice drawing some different contour line shapes. So we'll go ahead and get started with the actual watercolor painting. And there's different techniques to watercolor that you can do. You can do a dry paper technique, or you can do a wet paper technique. The wet paper is you just kind of wet your paper before you add your color paint to it. The more water you use, the lighter your colors will be, and the less water you use, the brighter your colors will be. And so there's also a little experiment you can kind of do, practice with some salt watercolor. So if you wanted to do that as well. But in the salt, a salt watercolor just kind of creates a little bit of a bleach kind of speckled look to it. Just kind of looks like it's got bleach speckled out to it. So I want you to just fill up your paper with your watercolor painting. So any technique you want to use, you can do it many different ones, and just practice so that you can figure out what you like best about with the watercolor painting. So you can paint your whole paper. You can add colors all over it and let them just kind of blend together. You can just put different kind of shapes on there, paint different shapes together. However you want to do your watercolor. If you do want to add some salt, you'll need to make sure you sprinkle salt on it while your picture is still wet. While your watercolor is still kind of wet. And you'll leave the salt on until your paper is completely dry. And then that's when you'll dust your salt off and everything. But that's just a little neat experiment, something to try with and see if you like that. Just a little neat, fun something to try, something different. But you can just fill up your paper with colors. I want you to just enjoy this. I want it to be, just like always, more about the process and not the end product for you. I want this to be something that just makes you feel good. I do not want you to think, oh gosh, I can't paint. I'm so stressed out. I'm unhappy with my work. I don't want you to feel that way at all. I really want you to find some joy in this and just jump into it and love it. But and I realize that not everybody's gonna love the same project as somebody else, but I do want you to just have a good time with it. Don't let it stress you out or worry you or anything like that. So you are going to just paint all over your paper. You're going to want to get it filled up with color. Just all filled in with color here. Any way that you want to. You can layer your colors, or you can just kind of let them each one do until it dries and then add more to it. However you wanted to do it. want you just to make sure that you getting this filled up. And when you feel like you have gotten your drawing complete the way that you want it, you will need to just kind of let it sit off to the side and dry. Because it will need to be dry before you add your contour lines to it, just so that the marker or ink will not spread along with your wet paper. So it will need to be dry before you start adding your lines to it. So you can create more than one painting at a time. Set it somewhere to let it dry. While your painting is drying, you might want to practice drawing some different continuous contour lines. So, and a contour line drawing is just basically a outline of an object where you use only lines. And we are going to use a continuous contour line where we put our pencil or pen on the paper and we work on our drawing until it's complete. We don't lift our pencil until the whole drawing is finished. So you might just want to practice with different things. You can do something abstract like this. Now I did go back afterwards and add some lines in it, and something that I felt like looked like eyes, I did go back to add that. But otherwise it was just one continuous line. Or you could practice drawing an animal or a person or any type of object. Practice drawing that and then practice it with just making one line and not lifting your pencil off the paper. And if you feel more comfortable, you can work first, do your line drawing first in pencil and then trace over it with your black pen or marker, or you can just jump right in and go with your marker or pen and just kind of see how it turns out. It's more spontaneous and not really planned out that way. Let's see, or you could do, this is not really a picture or an object of anything. This I just did one continuous line and where they did not overlap. Now you can overlap your lines and let them cross each other or not. Just practice with this and come up with many different ways that you would like to do it. So after your picture is dry, let's see if I have a dry one here. Here's a dry one, and this one I did add some salt on this little section right here, so I'll kind of wipe the salt off, and you'll see how it's kind of got a little bleached out speckled look on it. But so you can, like I said, either way, do your pencil first and then outline it with your pen or marker, or just go ahead and jump right in and see what comes out, see how it turns out to be. So I think I'll try a flower this time, so we'll see how it turns out. So I put my pen down on the paper, and I am not going to lift it until my drawing is complete. So that's my attempt at a flower there. And you can always go back if you think, okay, maybe my pen was running out over here, or I just would really like for these lines to be thicker. You can go back and, you know, make your line even thicker if you wanted to. You can make your lines, like I said, overlap or not overlap. It can be a picture of something or just an abstract piece. But I really want you to just have fun with this. So So this is how I felt like this would probably need to be just a little bit bolder. So see, you can go back over it and trace it just to make your line a little thicker and bolder. Just to see if maybe the different ones here. So this one I just traced one time. I did one time with my pen. This one I traced over it again just to give it a thicker line. So just for you to see a difference there. But any way that you want to do this, I am super, super excited to be able to see your artwork that you have created with the watercolor and contour line drawings. So please do take a picture of your work and send it to us, the Lancaster County Council of the Arts. Post it on our social media, and if you get a chance, just look over it, see if you can find somebody else's artwork, and just see what we're all coming together to create. So it's fun, and it just kind of makes you, it's a sense of connection to see somebody else's work and think, oh yeah, we were painting this, even though we weren't together, we were both doing the same thing. So that's always fun to do. And remember, I haven't said this in a long time, but do date your work. I think it's always a good idea to just date your work, and you can look back on it and see how much you've progressed, and how much you've grown, and your talent, your skills gotten better. So that's always a fun thing to see as well. Next week, we will come together and create a fabric or cloth painting. So for this project, next week, you will need some regular paint, not watercolor paint, but you'll need regular paint, paint brushes, a plate or a palette or something so that you can squirt your paints out onto. You'll need paper towels, you'll need to protect your surface area. You will need, and then anything that you want to add to it to embellish it. If you want to add thread or yarn or sequins or buttons, anything that you want to add to it. And then you also might want to think of how you would want to display your picture, your cloth painting. So come together next week as we create our cloth or fabric painting, and you can use any type of fabric. It could be an old pillowcase, or you could actually go to the craft store and buy like a swatch of fabric. And you might want to make sure you choose a lighter color fabric, just so that your painting and everything will show up really good. But I look forward as we come together and create next week, and I'll see you then.